What is up, everybody? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. I have a new knife in for a Remette that we're going to check out. Let's get it. All right, we have the Aurora in today, and it's a little bit more of an office carry, gent style carry knife, much more compact. You have all titanium construction. You have what looks like a Chinese version of the dark matter carbon fiber. I like the ratios, just would like to see the color either a little bit more subdued if it's meant to emulate the dark matter, or go the opposite extreme and make it pop a little bit more. It feels a little muted. The transitions, though, on that inlay are fantastic. They are seamless. I really don't feel any gaps or anything that's hanging, so nice job with that. It has a crossbar lock, and they made the titanium pocket clip, which works very well, reversible. You have a quarter length backspacer with some milling in it. You have a lanyard post for those out there that really like it. I like their thumb studs. I've noticed that they are kind of using the same thumb studs for all, and they are very textured without being too aggressive. Now, the detent tune on this is done very well. And I've always said when you do a good tune on the crossbar lock to get the geometry lie, right, it's a lot more enjoyable and makes it an easier knife to recommend. The other thing that I want to point out on this drop point blade is that it is M390. It is hollow ground, and I have seen with proper testing tools where they're hitting at 60.5 on their M390, which is what you come to expect from production M390. And that is well enough to perform well for EDC. It's going to hold a good edge, going to sharpen very well. Overall, going to be a good performer. Now, with this one here, it was feeling a little small for me. I was hanging off the back using that Ford choil, but you can see they jimped here and they have jimping here. So you can choke up even with the large hands, get a 4-finger grip. You kind of sit in front and behind with the larger hands of that actual cutout there. Now, if you have smaller hands, I would probably say small to medium. Right back here, it's going to feel very comfortable. Larger hands, you're just going to want to choke up and ignore that. And it does work. It feels pretty neutral here. The only thing I'll say with my hands being so large is every once in a while I do feel like when I'm not watching what I'm doing, I do kind of hit the back of the edge there. So I appreciate the jumps to keep me kind of locked in. As long as I'm in this position pushing down, I can open boxes, break down a package, no issues whatsoever. Very good edge from the factory, very slicey, very good cutting performance. Happy to see that. You got ceramic bearings in the pivot, so the action is dropped shut with the crossbar lock. And like I said, very satisfying, good engagement, good geometry. And the crossbar lock studs are also phenomenal, very easy to grip onto. Like I said, more compact overall, but still very well done. There's a little bit of weight reduction internally here. Trying to see if I can find it for you to get it on camera. Yeah, so they have the full steel liners, but they did mill it out a little bit for some weight reduction. So it's not going to be too heavy of a knife, even though it is all titanium construction. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons, and then we'll go ahead and weigh this one. All right, this is what I'm carrying on me today, so that's what we're using for size comparison. We have the Concept Raven, which I consider to be more of a medium-sized EDC, and then we have the Tri-Stash here on bottom, that one being more your full-sized EDC, and you can see the Aurora is a small gent-style carry knife, something you would carry into the office. Let me move these out of the way. We'll grab the scale and we'll go ahead and get the weight on this one. All right, we got the scale out, cutting it on. I'm going to guess this is probably like less than 3.5. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, even though it is all titanium. Closer to 3.5 than I thought it was going to be. So coming in at 3.4, which is still really a lighter weight carry in my opinion. Let me get the scale out of the way. We'll wrap up with final thoughts and impressions. All right, time for final thoughts and impressions on the Aurora. I like a lot of what Remette is doing. You get very good finishes and styling, in my opinion, with performance at the price point that they are charging for these. So not too mad again at the heat treat on the steel, considering what you're paying when you pick this particular one up. What I take into account when I grade is I take into account the fit, the finish, the performance with the action and the cutting, the price point, and the aesthetics are everything that I take into account when I grade these, and then I grade from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. This one being all premium construction with very little steel used, good weight and aesthetics, excellent fit and finish, good, I would say, performance for the ergos, the cutting, the geometry, and the treat on the steel in particular. So on this particular one, I'm actually going to go 7.9. I would go over 8, but it is a very tight fit for larger hands. So this is more geared towards those small hands, medium hands for sure. If you enjoyed this one and want to pick it up, the links in the description help the channel when you use them. That's totally up to you. A like helps the channel along with your subscription and comments, so feel free to do so if you enjoyed. Special shout out and thanks to my channel members. Love you guys. That's it for me today. I'm out of here. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye.